All right, guys. So Stephen A. Simp, right? He has made the news once again, as apparently he is fully vaccinated, and despite being fully vaccinated, he caught COVID and faced a tough battle with the virus, as he claims that he was hospitalized and almost died from the virus. Take a look.
I had 103-degree fever every night. Woke up with chills and pool of sweat. Headaches were massive, coughing profusely. And it got to a point that right before New Year's Eve, I was in the hospital New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. That's how I brought in the new year. And they told me, had I not been vaccinated, I wouldn't be here. That's how bad I was. I had pneumonia in both lungs. My liver was bad, and it ravaged me to the point where even now I have to monitor my volume. Got to get in the gym every day, walk before you run, and work your way back because I'm still not 100% with my lungs, but I'm COVID negative and all of that stuff, and I'm on the road to recovery. But if it wasn't for several doctors like Dr. Booth, Dr. Spivak, Dr. Charno, and others, I wouldn't be here.
Okay, so that's Stephen A. Smith basically saying, yeah, despite, being vaccinated, I still had to be hospitalized for the virus. And the doctor said that, apparently if, Stephen A. wasn't vaccinated, then he would have died. Okay, that is what Stephen A. Smith is saying. Now, I find his claims to be somewhat interesting for a variety of reasons. But what I find to be even more interesting is the fact that after saying this, right, after going through this COVID battle, this dude still comes out here and goes on this crusade against Kyrie Irving, mainly because of his vaccination status. Remember, I did a video in the past before about Stephen A. and how much he does not like the fact that Kyrie Irving is unvaccinated.
KD, you made the wrong decision, bro. And here's why. Because you trusted Kyrie. Kyrie Irving betrayed you. Flat out betrayed you. Left you hanging. And while you sitting up there getting your ass kicked last night, all right? Steph Curry sitting there shimmying and joking around, laughing on the court. They were cheering for Steph Curry in Brooklyn. From opening tap, they were chanting MVP in the Barclays Center, and it wasn't for the dude averaging 28.9 points a game for the Brooklyn Nets. It was for Steph Curry. And then you juxtapose Steph Curry compared to Kyrie Irving, and what do you have? You got Kyrie Irving, who is a showstopper. Kyrie Irving, who is a superstar talent. He is box office and can't be trusted. I actually hope Kyrie Irving gets cut. I mean, this is a disgrace.
Now, Kyrie Irving, who plays for the Brooklyn Nets, basically wasn't allowed to play by the Brooklyn Nets because of New York City's vaccine mandate. But now the Brooklyn Nets are probably desperate, so they've allowed him to play in away games in cities that don't require a vaccine mandate. So with that being said, Kyrie Irving, who's unvaccinated, just returned back to the court, right? Keep in mind, he had COVID, I think, just a month ago in December. He had tested positive for it. And the mainstream media just a few days ago questioned him about whether or not, he's going to take the vaccine. And Kyrie is still just like, nah, I'm still not going to take it. And Stephen A. Smith, who was vaccinated, got COVID, and he claimed he almost died. Okay, so interesting enough, Stephen A., after returning from his bout with COVID, okay, his near-death experience, he decides to continue his crusade against Kyrie Irving, in my opinion, for being unvaccinated, as he now basically says he hopes that the Brooklyn Nets don't win the championship because that will send the wrong message. Take a look.
I think it would have, having said that, I think it would be a disaster if the Brooklyn Nets won the championship for the game of basketball. I really do. And the reason why I feel that way is because of liberties Kyrie Irving has taken in the past before there was even a vaccine issue. Remember, this is the dude that needed time off when the riots at the U.S. Capitol took place because mentally he just wasn't there and he could walk away from the game of basketball. Now it's the vaccine as an excuse not to be at the Barclays Center for people in Brooklyn to see this showstopper play. I am an advocate of Kyrie Irving from the standpoint, first of all, I respect his honesty and him staying true to his convictions. That's fair enough. And I'm one of those dudes who believes that Kyrie Irving is such a showstopper. He's so spectacular. If you wanted to pay him $50 million a year, I wouldn't care. He deserves it. but I would never sign him to a long-term deal again. He can't be trusted. I would sign him 1 year at a time for max dollars, but I wouldn't trust him with a long-term deal because he has shown me when he knows that the money comes in, he will take liberties to take off when he wants to take off and to show up to work when he wants to show up to work.
All right, guys. So I want you to understand what Stephen A. Smith is basically saying here. He's saying, basically, I'm going to advocate for people not to pay this man, okay, and for his team not to win because it was send the wrong message, right? The message being that, you know, hey, you can win a championship by just taking off when you want to take off, right? By just saying, hey, when I don't want to work, I just don't want to work. As if Kyrie is not being forced to sit out, right? Kyrie is being forced to sit out because he's not taking a vaccine, right? He's not engaging in a medical procedure. He's not sitting out because he wants to sit out, right? That is what Stephen A. Smith is basically trying to tell people. He's trying to tell the audience, no. Kyrie Irving's not sitting out because he doesn't want to get vaccinated. He's sitting out because he just don't want to play, right? That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying, okay? Again, I just find it fascinating how a man who just got through fighting COVID in the hospital, right, can attack Kyrie Irving for not being vaccinated when Kyrie Irving just had COVID like a month ago, right? And it seems that Kyrie Irving is doing just fine. Again, I find it fascinating. So today, Jay Williams actually calls out Stephen A. on his BS, right? And him continuing to attack Kyrie Irving's character and acting like it's not because of his vaccination status. Take a look.
I'd never give him a long-term contract again. He's not.
I'm okay with that. The last part, that's what you want to do if you're owner of a
I'd
team.
make him one of the highest paid players in the league, but it would be 1 year at a time to ensure that he's going to show up to work to earn his money. And I'm saying to you, if he wins and they win, watch how you got a whole bunch of people in the league that's going to feel like it's cool.
Because you start this kind of stuff.
I do.
You know what the narrative should be for the NBA?
Me?
Do you want to know what you know what narrative I would perpetuate?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
If I had your platform, which we kind of do in the same way I come on before you.
Yeah, you do have a 4-hour platform.
I do. I talk about how great it is that the league is working with cities, with players who are unvaccinated and vaccinated to work together to come to an ultimate goal about having an NBA championship. I don't take negative twist on this scenario and say how disgraceful it's going to be. You use this word all the time. You know, I watch all your rankings every single weekend, NFL games. You got Cardinals up there. You got the Cowboys. You say it's fluid. It's fluid. Isn't life fluid, Stephen A?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Isn't there a different way we felt a couple months ago compared to the way we feel right now? Doesn't that deserve to be in the scenario?
Gentlemen, speaking of fluid, you know I'm the matriarch of the show. I actually know your schedule. You need to be on radio.
Well, you see?
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt the debate.
I didn't plan it.
You planned it with the
producer. I didn't plan it.
You just, I need a second take from me. I got like 20.
You're about to miss your radio hit.
Go ahead, man.
Do you have anything else you want to say before you go?
All I'm saying,
Go ahead.
It's starting to become a big issue with me on how I feel like you lament Kyrie every single day.
Well,
It's like you're attacking this man's character left and right every single day. He hasn't said anything.
To be continued, but let me say this to you. I don't give a damn.
I know you don't.
Hold on, let me finish. I don't give a damn if it's a big issue with you. I don't give a damn if you talk about it every morning. I don't give a damn what you think I think about Kyrie Irving. I spit facts when it comes to that.
That's your opinion.
And I said,
don't conflate your opinion with facts. Stop conflating your opinion with facts. Just because Stephen A. yells it doesn't make it right. It don't make it factual.
Excuse me. You ain't timid. You yell.
Oh, because you're making me yell.
I ain't making. Oh, you ain't control yourself.
What is my demeanor mostly? I sit back and I listen. My demeanor is I sit back and I listen.
Did Kyrie Irving skip out on this team last year because of the riots at the U.S. Capitol?
Do you know what happened last year with the George Floyd? Was that not an emotional time for you? Were you not on TV every single day talking about how it was to be as a black man?
We were at work.
And my thing.
We were at work. Everybody else showed up to work.
That's how you choose to look at your job.
You're making a pass.
I don't make it a pass.
You're an apologist.
Oh, now I'm a Kyrie Irving apologist.
Absolutely.
I've been on TV.
I never said that about anybody else. I've never said that about anybody else.
I've been on TV.
Kyrie Irving, yes.
I've been on TV and I have criticized moves that Kyrie made when he was in Boston.
I didn't say you didn't.
But you're calling me a Kyrie Irving
about this,
because
Jay.
these are unprecedented.
About this, Jay.
I'm sorry, Molly.
No, it's fine. I just didn't want you to miss the radio hit.
I didn't say that about anything else you said about Kyrie. About this issue with the Nets, yes. You have been an apologist. You're damn right.
You're holding it against Kyrie that the Brooklyn Nets were the team that told him, you know what? we can't have you be because it's going to mess up with our team chemistry.
I'm holding it against
You go
Kyrie
ahead.
Irving.
All right. Now, you know what, Kyrie? Things have changed a little bit because it's fluid, like Stephen A. Smith said. Now come on back.
I'm holding it against
But it's
Kyrie.
a disgrace.
I'm holding it against Kyrie Irving that he coaxed a whole bunch of brothers into making commitments and that he ultimately did it.
He coaxed a bunch of brothers into making a commitment.
Yes.
And now you're using the fact that he's unvaccinated by saying he copped out on a commitment.
Well,
please.
Hold on.
How about the people that have lost their jobs?
The US
they copped out on their commitment?
The U.S. Capitol stuff, that wasn't no vaccine issue. I brought that up.
That's how Kyrie
I went off about that last year.
Gentlemen, it's over.
All right, so I don't know if Jay Williams and Stephen A. Smith actually like each other or whatever, right? Like I have no clue if their arguments are actually real, but it seems like to me, just based on me watching their debates, I really think that Jay Williams got a problem with Stephen A. Smith. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just all for the camera, but Jay Williams is right here. Okay, to a certain extent. Stephen A. Smith is pretending that he's not hating on Kyrie simply because he's unvaccinated, right? And he's using Kyrie Irving being unvaccinated as an excuse to attack his character. Now, listen, I think Stephen A. is right in the sense that when Kyrie Irving sat out because of the events at the Capitol, yeah, I thought that was ridiculous, right? Sitting out over the George Floyd thing, ridiculous. But there's a difference between sitting out over that, which I think is fair criticism to criticize him for that, and criticizing him for not wanting to get a medical procedure, something that he could not have foreseen before he actually signed with the team, right? Before he recruited Kevin Durant and James Harden to come play with him, he could not have foreseen that we would face this pandemic, right? And that people were required to be vaccinated in order to play, right? He could not have foreseen that. So to say that the man is skipping out on his teammates because he doesn't want to get a medical procedure, because a part of the reason why he doesn't want to get this medical procedure is to stand up for people who are getting fired for also not wanting to get this medical procedure. I think that is disingenuous to Stephen A. Smith, right? I think that Stephen A. Smith really just does not like the fact that Kyrie Irving is unvaccinated, right? I think he just really doesn't like it, okay? I think that's the issue. And, I know that's the issue because he's always talking about how, I would pay the man X, Y, and Z, but I wouldn't sign to a long-term contract. I don't want the Brooklyn Nets to win no championship, right? It's like, bro, you're wishing bad things on the man over his vaccination status, right? You're wishing bad things on him, okay? Dude is clearly doing what he's doing out of principle, okay? He's sticking up for his own principles. But Stephen A. Smith has no respect for that whatsoever. He doesn't care. Because for whatever reason, he is so obsessed with Kyrie Irving's vaccination status when he really need to be concerned about his own health, right? Considering the fact that he was vaccinated, got COVID, hospitalized, said that he was, on the brink of death, basically, which suggests that, who knows, Stephen A. Smith may have had some other comorbidities, right? The fact that Stephen A. Smith, according to him, right, was on the brink of death in the hospital from this disease suggests, statistically speaking, that he may have some other health issues, okay? He may have some other health issues. And again, I got to ask, since he's so concerned about this, well, how'd you get COVID in the first place, Stephen A., right? Were you like all these other crusaders out here that, are talking this big talk about other people's health and what they should be doing while at the same time not actually following those rules, right? Not doing your social distancing, not wearing your mask? Because that's probably how you got it, right? So you put yourself in a situation where you got it, which put you in the hospital, which also made you miss work, right? You missed time at work, which, he might have been off anyways because it was a new year. But I'm just saying, his whole thing with Kyrie, or at least what he claims, is that, well, Kyrie is missing work because of his choice not to be vaccinated. Well, aren't you missing work, Stephen A.? Okay? Because you weren't taking the proper precautions to avoid being exposed to this virus, right? So I can argue that you let your colleagues down at ESPN on First Take, right? You let Molly Karam down, okay? Because we know she can't carry the show by herself. But I'm just saying, using Stephen A. Smith's logic about how Kyrie's personal health choices is equal to him letting down his teammates, I can say that Stephen A. Smith and his failure to avoid catching this virus that put him in the hospital, even though he's vaccinated, that is letting his colleagues down at ESPN, right? So, I mean, all I'm saying is this. I just find it ridiculous how Stephen A. Smith, again, after allegedly being hospitalized, comes back on the show and just starts, going on a crusade against Kyrie Irving over his vaccination status when the dude basically already had COVID just a month ago and he's doing fine. Okay? I just find it crazy how Stephen A. Smith has this hatred towards Kyrie Irving because I really think that that's what it is at this point. But who knows? Who knows? I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.